What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben Gaming video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day as always. Just to quickly say, if you want to check out any of the live streams we do on the channel, then go to the description below. There's a link to my link tree where we've got Twitch, Kick, wherever you want to watch, they're all there. So that'd be really cool if you could come and tune in live and get involved with what we were talking about at the time. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now, this is a little bit of a video where we're talking about PlayStation and kind of the fact that they really don't have that much to be exactly excited for right now. Like, normally you've got tons of games that they announce way too early, and I'm sure a lot of the people in the comments from PlayStation side will bring up about how, there's, a lot of the Xbox games you're talking about are 6 years away or whatever, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, PlayStation has done that countless times with various games. Spider-Man they announced years before, never showed anything for it for absolutely ages, and then eventually we got it. But I just want to have a look through both of the futures of both console brands, so PlayStation and Xbox. I'm more of a PC player myself, as I said in other videos, but I want to go through these and just try and understand what exactly PlayStation has to look forward to going forward. But, so a lot of you guys sort of called me in my previous video where I actually made a video about how Xbox's sales are down bad. I got grilled for that and got called a PlayStation fanboy, but I'm not either, guys. I play PC primarily, so if you want to call me a fanboy, call me a fanboy of PC. I'll be happily known as that because that's the platform I personally play on the most. But anyway, let's get into this video. Now, I want to start off this next section looking at what Xbox has to offer going forward. Yes, a lot of these are next year games, or, well, we're basically the end of this year anyway, but a lot of these games are coming up in the future, but we have games like Avowed. Now, what you'll notice on the Xbox side is a lot of these are big games, very, very big games compared to some of PlayStation's that seem like they're kind of dumbed down smaller games going forward because they kind of wanted to go with that whole games as a service thing, which I don't personally want. But we've got Avowed, we've got Fable, so two massive AAA games. Clockwork Revolution, not as big by any means, but it's still, going to be a decent RPG from In Exile. Okay, Forza Motorsport's out, that's fair enough. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, going to be, again, maybe not AAA game, but it's going to be a very big game. Elder Scrolls 6, I know it's a long way away, but these games are games we have to be excited about on the Xbox ecosystem because we know they are coming out. Like, we know that's part of the excitement, is knowing that these games might be 5 years away or whatever, but they are there and we know what we're getting from that brand, where PlayStation haven't really said much recently, which is a little concerning. South of Midnight, another one that looks really interesting. Ark 2. Dungeons of Hinterberg, that looks awesome as well. Stalker 2, like, I know some of these may come to PlayStation eventually. I don't think Stalker 2 is never, I think that might come to PlayStation, but these are Xbox exclusives at launch at least. So anyway, State of Decay 3, another huge one. 33 Immortals, kind of an indie game that I'm very, very excited about. Outer Worlds 2, Perfect Dark, Everwild, and obviously the new Flight Simulator. There's probably a ton more, but just those games in themselves, compared to the list we're about to go through from PlayStation's side, personally gets me way more excited about the Xbox games. Now, I'm normally the sort of person who is excited for the Spider-Mans, the Horizon games that PlayStation do, as in Zero Dawn. Every time I say Horizon, people think the racing games. God of War, I love those franchises, and I'm, to be honest, still very excited for Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok, because I'm going to play them when they come to PC. But let's have a look through the list of PlayStation games. We have Helldivers 2. Now, this is obviously something from Bungie that's going to be kind of a, something different from what they were doing with, I can't remember the game now. I literally, it was in my head, and I literally can't remember what their game is. It's gone. The one I'm on about anyway, the game that they've spent years on that I've actually never played because it's just not my type of game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, okay. Pacific Drive, kind of smaller games. Silent Hill 2 remake, that's probably a big one for a lot of people. Death Stranding 2, Marvel's Wolverine, that is my top one on this list. Stellar Blade, Marathon, Sword of the Sea, Concord, Phantom Blade Zero, Fair Game, and The Last of Us Factions, which is probably more than likely, as we've heard recently, been cancelled, but we can replace that with Last of Us 2 Remake. And this leads me kind of onto the point of with what's going on with PlayStation, is what we seem to be seeing a lot at the moment is just second versions of games. So we got Death Stranding 2, it's kind of just like, we're carrying on the same thing. How many Final Fantasy games have we played? I get that they're good, I get people like them, but how many have we played where it's with the Xbox side, we're kind of getting these awesome new IPs, like stuff like Everwild, Perfect Dark, 33 Immortals. Obviously, we're still getting stuff like the State of Decay games, the Stalker game, but you do have some stuff like Dungeons of Hinterberg as well, which is another one I'm excited for. South of Midnight, a new IP. Elder Scrolls is obviously going to be following on. Hellblade is obviously going to be following on. Clockwork Revolution, brand new IP. Fable, it's kind of like a reset. I've not actually played any of the Fable games, but we've got Avowed, which is, again, a brand new IP. So there are a lot of things, personally, for me, and I'm just talking about for me. So before you guys go into the comments and start insulting me for what you think is better, if you think the PlayStation list is better, great. I'm just talking about from my personal opinion, hence you've clicked on my video. Like, these are the games that I'm looking at, and I'm like, what do they have to offer? Now, obviously, I've got both consoles. I'm going to play both. I'll play them when they on PC at least. I'll probably actually start now waiting for PlayStation games to come to PC, because Spider-Man 2 was just, in my personal opinion, narratively was a big disappointment. I don't want to get into why, but there's so many disappointing aspects of Spider-Man 2. The game graphically was awesome, it played well, but compared to the first game and even Miles Morales, it just wasn't as good in my personal opinion. I did not get attached in the same way I got attached to the previous two titles. Stuff like, Last of Us 2 kind of followed a similar trend. Like, it just wasn't anywhere near as good as a narrative story as the first game. And I have to wonder what is going on at PlayStation right now, because their list of games, apart from Wolverine, I'm really not excited for much that they have to offer from their side right now. Like, I have no interest in playing Last of Us Factions. If I want to play a multiplayer shooter, I'll play Call of Duty, I'll play Apex, I'll play something like Fortnite. I don't care about Last of Us. It's not going to bring me anything that big IPs like Call of Duty, Battlefield, those kind of shooters will get me. I'd much rather put my time into a multiplayer game like that than Factions. But again, my personal opinion, guys, it doesn't have to be yours. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just giving my opinion. So that's where I'm at right now. I just don't think PlayStation has the same ammunition that they used to have. They haven't got a Spider-Man game lined up. They haven't got a God of War game. They haven't got a Horizon game lined up. And even with those games, they're still just sequel after sequel, or an Uncharted game. There isn't anything like that. And I personally think those games are what have carried Sony so much over the last, few decades, to be honest. Like, they've been carried by these big titles. And you look at the list, again, I'll pull it up on screen. You look at the list they have coming up here. There is nothing that's big hitting like a new Spider-Man game. Wolverine, again, is the only one, as I say. There's nothing big hitting here like a new Uncharted title, a new God of War title, a new Spider-Man title. I know we've had a lot of those games recently, but the standpoint is there's nothing there that carries that weight that those other three franchises that I just said, and I'm sure there's more I can't think of right now from PlayStation. There's nothing there that's carrying that weight, and that is concerning. And I know you can sit there and say there's nothing from Xbox's point of view, but I think Avowed is going to do very well. If they hit the nail on the head here and they don't do another Starfield or Redfall, then I think Avowed could be very, very, very good. Fable, I'm extremely excited for. That could be just brilliant. Clockwork Revolution, again, new IPs. We don't know what these are going to bring, and this is, I think, kind of leads into my disappointment with PlayStation. There isn't enough heavy-hitting new IPs that they've talked about, like Helldivers. For me personally, again, I have to say, because people insult me when I have an opinion on something, Helldivers doesn't bring any sort of weight to it. Now, some of these little games, they're like, okay, cool, like, if we look at Sword of the Sea, for example, just to pull it up, it's an indie game. It is an indie game that, by the way, is on Steam, so I don't really count that as a PlayStation exclusive. I know a lot of the Xbox ones are. Concord, brilliant game. We look at the Concord game. Here we go. This, again, Firewalk Studios, which I actually believe... Yeah, I'm trying to think what else they've made. But anyway, PvP multiplayer. Again, not going to be interesting to me personally, because there's games like there's games like Call of Duty that I'm just going to prefer. I mean, I'll try them, but Phantom Blade Zero actually is another one that I am sort of looking forward to, but it doesn't give me any, it doesn't have any weight behind it. And I think that's what we've lost from Sony. And yeah, you guys will probably criticize me in this video, but it's just personally my opinion. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you think. Please don't attack me in the comments for having my own opinion. I am allowed to do this. And of course, you're allowed to have your own opinion in the comments as well. But please just try and be respectful. There's no need to, just insult me because I'm giving an opinion on something that I'm perfectly valid to have an opinion on these things. I get it's sensitive with people with Sony fanboys and Xbox fanboys. I understand. I'm just talking about what I'm excited for. At the end of the day, I'm probably going to play 90% of the games on this list, and I'm probably going to play on the PlayStation list. I'm going to play all the games probably on the Xbox list. So it's only a few. The Final Fantasy franchise I don't particularly enjoy that much. It's not personally my type of game. So that's just my opinion. So thank you for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe as well if you did enjoy. And I'll see you in future videos, guys. Bye-bye for now.